Welcome back to another episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes. What's up? For all you youngins, that used to be a cool commercial. What's up? And we kind of I like that our two dudes is like scissoring as well. It's like,
I know.
so,
yeah.
Man,
perfect.
Next Friday, man, you're a week away from coming to see me, man.
And we're going to be doing this in person. We're
We're
going to be
gonna
doing some
scissoring the
scissoring.
whole time at a WWE event
right.
on video. That'll make everybody think we're definitely straight. Yeah,
scissoring with a stranger I met on the internet. That's
dude, we're like a perfect example that eHarmony works. I love it.
That's right. That's right.
I love. Is eHarmony a thing? I don't even know. I've been with the same girl for 20 years. I have no idea like what a dating site is, but that's Is it eHarmony? No, it's like a Blender.
Now it's like
Tinder. I said Blender.
Yeah, there's probably one.
Snacks.
There was Farmers Only.
FarmersOnly.com. There's Grindr. That's for the dudes only.
Yeah, Christian Mingle.
Christian Mingle. That's where we met. That's where we met. Christian Mingle. I love it. I love it. Look at B-roll automatically knowing the hard work that Shooting Star Press has put into it. Look at him, y'all. I wanted to say it, but B-roll already said it. This is all our producer, Mr. Shooting Star Press. He puts in all the work, does all the time. I literally just make sure my beard is grown perfect enough and nice and formed. That's all I do. He does everything else literally. So this thing is awesome. He put our Instagram on there. He still put our TikToks on there, although my TikTok, all this hard work is about to go to the trash, we're finding out. So that'll be fun.
Hopefully TikTok doesn't get banned. But
we'll see.
Yeah.
I hope not, because I don't know what I would do with myself. Like literally,
I really don't want to start over either. That's the big thing.
No, but what would I start on? Like Instagram isn't like you can't do the same stuff.
No. There's YouTube, which we now have 110 subscribers on YouTube.
110. Let's get it. That's 10 since Wednesday.
Yeah,
since Wednesday, that's 10. That's 10. So. Yes, sir. So welcome AEW Friday. We are gonna meet in a week, 7 days. It's crazy, right? Because we started this thing so long ago with another person. There was 3 of us, and he added you in. I kind of knew you here and there as some ginger dude, and you just kind of like got there, and then now look at us. Like, not only have I consider you an actual, true, honest friend, probably one of my closest friends, honestly, because I think I text you more than I text my wife. I honestly think I talk to you more than I almost talk to anybody. So it's going to be awesome to actually come see you. So now you're going to come see me. We're going to hang out for like 4 days. We're going to party it up. And for everybody, if you guys are going, and I'm going to post a TikTok today about this too, before it gets banned, I'm telling people we will be there. We will be at Stand and Deliver NXT, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, and Monday Night Raw. We're going to be at every event but SmackDown. And I'm kind of, whatever. SmackDown's my daughter's birthday, so I'm going to be at Disneyland. So we're also going to have to try to figure out next week. So I'm going to be at Disneyland from Wednesday to Friday for my daughter's birthday. Then Shooting Star is going to be flying to the greatest state in the world on Friday.
Yes.
So there's no way we're going to be able to do a Friday episode. And since I'm gone Wednesday, we can't do a Wednesday episode unless I took an hour out of my life to eat a churro and shoot a live from Disneyland.
Mickey's Castle or whatever. Cinderella's
Castle. Yeah. So we're going to try to do Monday or Tuesday. We're going to figure it out and get to it, because we got to do at least one episode so we can give all our predictions before. But I guarantee you that if you follow us on TikTok, which you can see down here, me and Shooting Star Press will 100% be live from WrestleMania weekend, all 4 events. So I can guarantee you we'll be doing that. And hopefully we can try to do this. I mean, if we can shoot this from our phones, I think we could do like a podcast from Mania too. I mean, it depends on when we wake up and how recovered we are. I don't know if Shooting Stars ever drank as much as he's going to drink once he comes sees me. So I don't know if he's going to recover nicely. I don't know. He's getting old up there. He's getting old.
I am.
So
I can't hang anymore.
I'm still like 28 in heart, so I can still go hard. So yeah.
I'm going to be like, it's going to be like, we're going to be on the second match of WrestleMania. I'm like, all right, I'm ready for bed. Let's go to sleep.
It's so funny because we were talking about that. We were like, dude, if WrestleMania goes 5 hours, we're going to riot. Like, keep it at 4. Triple H, 4 hours each. Me and Shooting Star can't be up to like 11 o'clock at night. That ain't going to work. Nice shirt. Oh, you're wearing the We Are Wrestle Talk. There you go.
Courtesy of B-roll. Everyone go buy a Real Wrestle Talk shirt from Mr. B-roll.
Yes, 100%. B-roll in the house. But anyway, let's get this AEW thing started and we'll talk more about it later. Everything else. So, AEW, let's start off with Rampage. And Rampage, it was what it was, but I thought it had a pretty good powerful, get it? Powerful, because Powerhouse Hobbs. I thought it was a good beginning for him. I didn't dig the QTV thing that they did. They did it again on Dynamite. I thought it was a little wonky, a little weird, but Powerhouse Hobbs had an opening match against Ray Phoenix, and Ray Phoenix is good, right? He's like your typical AEW superstar. He likes to flip. He likes to do fun things. He's going to get the crowd to go woo and spill a beer and cheer for and everything else. But the match, I would think if you would have told me how this match was going to go beforehand, I think I would have told you that I'm not going to enjoy it. Because I would think that Powerhouse Hobbs, even though Ray Phoenix was somebody and he's good and he should be probably better than what he is in AEW currently, I would have thought it should have been kind of a squash match. It went not only for 15 or so minutes, it went on for a while, maybe a little bit longer. It went through 2 commercial breaks, I believe. But it was like Powerhouse Hobbs had to put in work, man. He couldn't, I mean, he like put him in his finisher like 4 times. Ray Phoenix kicked out every single time. And I really enjoyed it too because the Q people, QTV or whatever, they're calling themselves QTV. Now I know they're QT Marshall, but I think they're calling themselves like the crew QTV crew or something. I don't know. They didn't even interfere. So there was no cheating, no nothing. Just Powerhouse Hobbs had a hard fought match against a veteran and came out on top. And I thought it was a fantastic, good build for him. I thought it was a great first match for him defending his title. And I'm really, really, really praying because I know Wardlow has disappeared again. He beats Wardlow. Now Wardlow's gone again. But that when Wardlow comes back, he doesn't just win the title back again. But I thought it was a fun match. What did you think? I mean, it was like your good like power wrestler versus your high flying wrestler, and it worked. I dug it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match a lot more than I thought I was going to when they announced that Powerhouse Hobbs last Wednesday had that open challenge. And then it was announced that Ray Phoenix was going to be the guy that answered it, and I was like, okay, this is going to be a squash. But no, it was. I thought both guys looked really strong. I thought, it was a great display from Phoenix, and he looked fearless against the way bigger Powerhouse Hobbs. So I thought it was a solid match, a solid way to open Rampage, and I do think Ray Phoenix could potentially be a future TNT champion. I can see him holding this belt in the future. Maybe with his Lucha Bro with him, they could hold the international championship too, and kind of take those 2 belts and be those guys that have the 2 titles. So, something along those lines. So I think there's a bright future ahead. But I agree. I don't want Wardlow to come back and win the title right away. As much as I complained about Wardlow losing the belt the way that he did shortly after AEW Revolution, I want Powerhouse Hobbs to have a good long run with this belt and make Wardlow kind of go through some hoops, kind of go through the heelish ways to make him earn his match back or something along those lines. And I thought this was a good way to open the show.
I agree. And Powerhouse Hobbs is a star, man. That dude
is
money, man. He's strong. He's good. He's aggressive. He doesn't need to talk much. You feel it. So yeah, hopefully they keep pushing him to the moon, which they should have been a long time ago, because he was awesome in Taz's crew. And now he's like even more in shape and buffer and stronger. And dude is money.
Yeah, he is. And I like that. I didn't like the QTV thing at first, or the people with him. I thought it was a weird partnership with him and QT Marshall. But now I'm starting to dig it a little bit, because Powerhouse Hobbs can just focus on the wrestling part. He doesn't have to, QT Marshall can be his mouthpiece and kind of be the guy who steers him in the right direction, or the right or wrong direction, the heel manager. So I am kind of digging that little tandem together. But the QTV segments themselves, I'm not a huge fan of. But I like the pairing of him and QT Marshall so far.
Me too. I agree.
So we talked about the opening of Rampage. Let's talk about the closing of Rampage. Daniel Garcia versus Brody King. And so I'm going to talk about this episode as if I hadn't watched Dynamite yet,
Okay.
because this makes sense now. But at the time, I was questioning what the heck Tony Khan was doing, because Daniel Garcia took an L, or Daniel Garcia got a victory over 1/3 of the trios champions, Brody King, in the
Yes, he
main
did.
event of Rampage. And I did not understand why that happened. It was a clean win too. It wasn't really. He did have the shot from
Mm-hmm.
Jericho's baseball
Mm-hmm.
bat, and that allowed him to get the victory. But it was still, I consider it a pretty clean match for the most part. And yeah, it just I didn't like the ending. I thought these guys just got the House of Black just won the trios championship on the Dynamite. A couple Dynamites ago, they were in an amazing triple threat match against House of Black, Jericho Appreciation Society, and the Blackpool Combat Club in that trios match, and not the Blackpool Combat, the Young Bucks and the Elite,
Yeah.
the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and it was a great match. It was fantastic, and the right team won. And yes, this does continue their feud with the JAS, and it looks like the JAS is going after those trios championships now, and they're gonna. The Elite's moving on to other things, but I don't understand. We talk about. I feel like we talk about this every Friday with Rampage. Tony Khan seems to love having one of his champions take some sort of L, and I'm glad it wasn't Malachi Black this time, but maybe it will be next week. I don't know, but yeah, I didn't like that Brody King took the L to Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, it was a little weird. I mean, and he's so much bigger than him and athletic, and it was. I mean, the match was fine. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match. Jericho did have to use the bat, and then he the announcers did a good job saying he's out, he's knocked out. So then Garcia just put him in a headlock to have the ref do his arm. I thought it was a little weird that he was raising his arms though. Usually when you go and the guy's knocked out, you can just say
yeah,
he's out, right? Like he's out. There's no obviously he's asleep. You don't need to raise his arms. That's back in the that's the Hulk Hogan days, right? 1, 2, I'm awake now. I don't know why they did that. I haven't seen the arm thing in forever. WWE doesn't do that anymore. Once you're out, you're out. There's no anyway, but yeah.
maybe that's where the you got to tap 3 times thing came from. I don't know, because I'm still adamant that Sheamus is the Intercontinental Champion because he made Gunther tap. But what happened was Gunther didn't tap 3 times.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where that came from. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe Gunther will at Mania. But yeah, so he's not. Gunther's not losing at Mania. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was a good match. I get where you're going from it, and I think it did lead. Obviously, we'll talk about on Dynamite, and we'll open up with that. But yeah, I thought it was fine. I mean, I don't know. Daniel Garcia, it's funny because, well, how about we just go? Let's go into Dynamite.
Sure.
So then we could just talk about it. So I was going to bring it up first anyway. So Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia. So Adam Cole, baby, comes back. I got a little nervous, by the way. His music hit, and the crowd didn't seem that interested. And then when he got into the ring and started doing his stuff, then the crowd was so into it. But I was like, oh no, Tony Khan, you did waste this guy. The crowd doesn't even
Yeah,
but then he got the hugest ovation again. So thank God, because I'm like, all right, this guy is so over and they're not using him properly. But basically Adam Cole, baby, comes out and says he's going to be here in 7 days. I have to say, by the way, it's always so disheartening to be in a crowd, a live audience, and be told that somebody's going to wrestle later on. Back in the WWE days, remember they used to boo that stuff. They're we're going to wrestle next week in Minnesota. Boo! Why? I don't know why, but I mean, they still cheered, which was good for them, but they were just so excited that Adam Cole's going to be anywhere. But I'd have been like, what the heck, dude? Thanks. Yeah, you'll be here
I'd be
week.
Pissed if that happened.
Cool. I'm the week before the fun stuff happens. Yeah. But Adam Cole came out, said he's going to wrestle and he needs somebody. And then out walks Daniel Garcia, dressed like a 90s female girlfriend of a bad guy with all leather jacket on, but his leather jacket was undone and hanging off his shoulder the entire time. So his spaghetti strap was show. It was a really I know the Jericho Appreciation Society dress, but that didn't seem like a Jericho Appreciation Society outfit. It seems like that's how he dresses in real. I don't know what the heck he was doing. He looked awful. So that threw me off the bat. But what I was getting at is that when Daniel Garcia beat Brody King, I was kind of like, oh, that's weird. But then Daniel Garcia named off why he should face Adam Cole and how big and popular he is. And he named off all the people he beat. And then I was kind of like, okay, that makes sense. So now when I go back and look at it, him beating Brody King made sense because Brody King is a champion. Yes, he's in a trios championship, but he ain't the main guy. He's probably the third guy in that trios, I would say. Maybe Murphy. I don't know. Either way, but he's not the main guy, obviously. So him beating him makes sense when he's beating people like Daniel Bryan and so on. So, and getting into this, they had a pretty good promo. They had a good back and forth. Same height, same type of wrestling ability. I'm actually excited. I was trying to think of who they were going to give Adam Cole because Daniel Garcia can take the L. He can easily have next week have a competitive match, have it be close, have Adam Cole sneak it out and win. And it's a win-win for everyone. Daniel Garcia comes close to beating Adam Cole. Adam Cole comes back and wins a match against a guy who has beaten some big names that he has suggested and said in their interview. But what I want to ask you is this going to lead to Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho, who I don't think have ever wrestled before? Because I feel like when you have Adam Cole or when you have people beat people in the Jericho Appreciation Society, they always end up wrestling everyone. So is this going to start an Adam Cole and Jericho feud? Are you for that? Or is this just like when CM Punk came back and he wrestled Darby and he's just going to like get some, bigger names that he can beat right now to build himself up to MJF in the future?
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking that it would lead to a match with Jericho, and I feel like that's probably a good first like pay-per-view opponent for Adam Cole when they have Double or Nothing in 8 years or whenever it is. Is it July? I think. So
I think
June?
it's May. No, it's May, right? I thought it was May. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. It was a while. It's like the end of May. It was like May 20 something. It's like pretty far away. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's a good solid pay-per-view match for Adam Cole. His return to pay-per-view, a match against Chris Jericho. I'm curious to see how they would do it though, because it seems like we just talked about, JAS is going after the House of Black and the trios titles. And so I'm sure Jericho is going to be involved in that as well. I don't think he's going to have, Jake Hager and the other two guys, Daddy Magic and the other guy competing in those matches. I think, Jericho's going to want to be a part of that. So, so yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him against Jericho, but I feel like it's going to be a one-off. I think it's just going to be a one-off match between the two. But I thought Daniel Garcia held his own. I think he's a good first opponent back for Adam Cole. He can go with anybody. He's a stud in the ring. And yeah, he can take an L. He can take an L to a guy like Adam Cole too. And maybe he won't. I don't know. Maybe he'll surprise us, because there was a lot of people that thought that Bryan Danielson was going to run all over Daniel Garcia. And Danielson put him over one time, and then Danielson got it back. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited to see Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole. I think that's going to be a good match. It's going to be a really good match.
I agree. And it's on Dynamite. So how fun is that?
Yeah.
Main event. And hopefully it'll probably open, isn't it? It's going to be the opening match, isn't it?
I hope not. I think it should close and then we go into All Access. The series premiere of AEW All Access, which talks about Adam Cole's return to the ring. And they're going to be all about, you're going to see a lot of Britt Baker. You're going to see probably some, Kyle O'Reilly. You're going to see a lot of guys in the back talking about, the return of Adam Cole. So yeah, I think it makes sense for it to close the show and then we go into that. But agreed. But Tony Khan, for whatever reason, he seems to listen to us and then he doesn't listen to us. So I don't know.
That's funny.
Let's talk about the opening of AEW Dynamite, the 6-man tag match between Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Sting versus the Butcher and the Blade and Kip Sabian. And this felt like we talked about this offline, but felt like a random pairing. Just the last couple of episodes of wrestling have just felt completely random. You're in a match and you're in a match and you guys can go, and okay, there's 6 of you over here. You guys, talk amongst yourselves. You're going to have a 6-man tag, figure out who's teaming with who. And this was another one of those. I mean, obviously Darby Allin and Sting makes sense, but the pairing with Orange Cassidy seems kind of a little random. Yeah. And then, Kip Sabian, I know he's had his beef with Orange Cassidy in the past, but the random pairing of the Butcher and the Blade getting involved in this um, especially when Orange Cassidy's been involved with Jeff Jarrett's group. I would have thought there would have been more with Santam Singh and Sanjay Dutt and Jeff Jarrett and all those
Mm-hmm.
guys, Jay Lethal, but they were nowhere to be found. So the match was good. Anytime Sting's in the ring, I cringe. Not because I hate Sting. I love Sting. He's one of my all-time favorites. But I always, every time he takes a bump, I'm like, this man is like 64, 65 years old. He's taking vicious bumps. He can still go in the ring, but I just cringe for fear that something's going to happen to that man. And I hope nothing does, but every time he does, just like when Stone Cold wrestled last year, Mania, every time he took a punch, I was like, and he was taking like bumps in the crowd too. But, but yeah, it's always good seeing Sting in the ring, and the crowd loves him. He had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand the entire match. It was a great match. It was a fun, solid way to open Dynamite. My only complaint: no pillars, no MJF on this entire episode of Dynamite. Yes, they had a video package with talking about the rebar mitzvah and talking about the 4 pillars and what they mean to AEW and why they should all go after the championship. But Darby Allin was the only one of those 4 pillars. No Sammy Guevara, no Jungle Boy, no MJF on screen. I mean, they were in the video package, but they didn't make an appearance in the arena. And maybe they're doing it one at a time. So next week it'll be Jungle Boy who gets his shine, and there's going to be no Darby Allin, no MJF, and no Sammy Guevara. And then the next week it'll be Sammy Guevara, and so maybe they're doing it that way. But I did feel like we had a really cool segment last week with the pillars, the 4 pillars: MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara. And there was no follow up on that this week. It was just here's a video package of what happened last week on Dynamite, and we don't have any clarification as to what's happening with the championship, and we don't know if it's going to be a 4-way. We don't know if it's going to be a series of one-on-one matches. We don't really know anything. And I was hoping for a little bit of follow-up on that. So, it was good to see Darby. It was a great opening match. Sting was great. Orange Cassidy was great as usual. But just the lack of no pillars there kind of soured it a little bit for me.
Yeah, I agree. And it's crazy because since MJF has won probably the most important match he's had, I'm assuming, that Iron Man match against Daniel Bryanson, he's appeared once, and it was in that segment for his bar mitzvah or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, I was saying how I like Roman not appearing all the time because the champion needs to feel special. So if that's what they're trying to do, I get it. They want MJF to appear when he needs to appear, but at least have the other pillars. Then if we're going to go there and build that feud, then let's have the pillars there all the time and building it up and talking about it and trying to, what I mean? Like hype it up and this and that for MJF. You know what I mean? You don't need technically MJF to be there every week to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you don't need to have the champion on every show, but what WWE does when Roman's not there, they still talk about Roman Reigns. Like, oh, he's going to be here next week and he's not going to be happy. Or, I'll talk to the tribal chief about this. They still talk about Roman Reigns and make him feel like he's the most important person. AEW doesn't do that. They don't they didn't really talk about MJF at all, except for the Rebar Mitzvahs video package that they showed. They didn't really talk about anything with them. They talked more about the Young Bucks getting attacked backstage throughout the entire night than they did about, we'll have an update on Nick Jackson's health. We have a text alert from Brandon Cutler and he's blaming the BCC for this attack. Nothing about, hey, breaking news, MJF will be on AEW Dynamite next week to respond to the other 3 guys or something along. They don't do that. They don't talk about them.
No.
And that's my gripe.
Yeah, I agree. The opening match was good though. Orange Cassidy with the OC on his face. It was cute. That was like his casual, like I'm gonna put on face paint too. I mean, it just fit his character. It was fun. It was whatever. It was super random. We talk about this and Raw and NXT, and now Dynamite just feels like they're just pulling people out of hats, and we'll talk about that in the main event as well. But it was kind of like it was kind of weird. But with the pillars not being talked about, somebody who's getting really big push right now is a shirt I'm rocking, Blackpool Combat Club, man, and they are a hot commodity right now. We opened up the show, like you said, with Hangman Page trying to get into an ambulance with the Young Bucks after they got beat up by whoever. That ambulance took off before he was even in. So, whoops.
Oh, yeah.
Good thing he didn't fall out. But he slammed that door. But we went into the night, and then Moxley won a match. And then we went into the main event, which was actually a pretty good main event. I mean, it's so funny, too, because these two guys wrestled, right? Kenny Omega and El Hijo del Vikingo, not Vikingo. It's like Vikingo. I don't know. El Hijo. I had honestly never heard of him. I'm not afraid to say it, and neither has probably 90% of wrestling fans. But he brought it. I mean, they gave you exactly what they wanted: a 25-minute match of them going bananas, doing stuff that I didn't think human beings can do. The match was an A+, yes, sir, but it was after the match. So BCC comes out, puts a beat down on Kenny Omega, and then out comes Hangman Page. He pulls up in the ambulance a la Attitude Era, driving back in the ambulance. We were talking about this, that I thought it was so like, we talked last on Wednesday about how the timing is always so damn perfect, but holy cow. Okay, so did Hangman Page A steal the ambulance? So is he wanted for stealing? Did B, the ambulance driver, go like, bro, your boy's getting beat up right now, you need to get back to the arena? Or C, did they just let him borrow it, or did he steal it and he was just driving back to the arena anyway? Because was the ambulance like right down the street? Did they like watch Dynamite and he was getting beat up and they were like, jump? Either way, he pulls up in the ambulance, casually walks to the arena, waits for his music to hit. He comes down and tries to save. He drops Callis on accident. And then we end with Kenny Omega thinking Hangman was there to beat him up, I guess. I don't know. But either way, what I want to get at is the BCC is damn hot right now. I loved their Blackpool wrestling shirts, like Blackpool wrestling. They were like playing, matching, just Blackpool wrestling. The Blackpool Combat Club always should have been heels, full heels, right? I get this all the time because I constantly post on TikTok that Dominic Mysterio is the biggest heel in wrestling today. And people try to tell me it's MJF, it's Roman Reigns. No, it's not, because MJF gets cheered. A real heel does not get cheered. Roman Reigns gets cheered. All his segment with Cody Rhodes, he got cheered the entire time. You can be a heel, meaning you are portrayed as a heel because you do bad guy things, but you're not a heel if you're getting cheered. So Dominic Mysterio is the biggest heel because he doesn't get cheered. He gets booed. He gets actual hate. That's what a heel is. Bully Ray in Impact, he's a heel. He gets actual hate. People do not cheer what he does. The Blackpool Combat Club is starting to do that now. When they come out and they're putting beatings on people, they're putting them on viciously. They're aggressive and they don't care. They straight saw Hangman coming, they were like, we got 2.5 minutes, y'all. Continue to beat the snot out of him. Hangman with some GTA shit. He literally did. He slapped a hoe, jumped into that car, pulled him out, and drove it over there. Oh man, GTA, shout out. And he they beat him up for a little bit longer. And then as soon as Hangman got there, they like boned out. I wanted to talk about this last week, so I'm getting excited. I think, okay, because we're talking about unrealism in wrestling, and this is AEW and WWE. So this is not a shout out to AEW. This is all wrestling. How come when you're coming to defend somebody and you're really, really peed off, either A, you want to get your hands on these people, or B, you just want to beat that. You want them so bad. When they jump out of the ropes, you can no longer touch them. Is there like a force field between the ropes? Because a lot of the times the guys don't even move. They just stand there on the side of the ropes like, booyah, suck it. Like, you can't get me. And the guy's like, dang it, ropes. If I could only get through these damn ropes. Every single time they go through the ropes, they're like, damn, just 1 second.
It's like that TV show Under the Dome, where there was a big dome hovering over the city. And
Simpsons did it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Simpsons did it. Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
Why
didn't they dig under it? Yes.
You just, I don't understand. Yeah, I've never understood that. Why do they And like, okay, Hangman Page also, if he wants to get his hands on the BCC so bad because they did attack the Young Bucks, or so we think, why is he casually strutting to the ring? Like, he's carrying his little, he looks like Hacksaw Jim Duggan carrying his piece of wood.
Yeah, that
with
thing
this,
had nails on it though. Why
yeah,
did he
with the,
bring that? What was he going to kill somebody? It was
I don't know.
very weird.
But
Yeah.
like, if you're going to get your hands on him, don't go, just like run out there. Don't give them a chance to run away. Don't give them a
Yeah.
chance to disperse. Go out there before they can and at least swing your nail wood or your whatever you're using to attack. But no, it was, yeah, I always find all that stuff funny. Like, like when Jeff Hardy debuted in AEW, he's dancing.
Oh my God, that was the greatest. He's like doing his theme music. Yeah. But yeah, and then obviously is Kenny Omega turning heel as well. So is that where they're hitting at? Because Callis is like, yo, it's all about you. They'll be fine. Injuries move on. And then he faked like Hangman was hurting him. So is that where we're going now? Are we getting old school Kenny Omega back? A lot of stuff happening, but the BCC, bravo, they're finally where they need to be. So good job, TK.
Yeah, I could see. I think it might be. It could be Kenny Omega's just breaking away from the Young Bucks and going back to the singles route. Because even Tony Schiavone even said when he interviewed him, he said, "Hey, you're back to being a singles competitor or something." Right before his little before he was attacked. So maybe it's gonna be the Young Bucks and Adam Page against the BCC, and Kenny Omega will go off and do his own thing.
That works
against somebody. So I'm curious to see. And do you think it was Moxley, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta that attacked the Blackpool, that attacked the Young Bucks?
I mean, that's the obvious reason, but you never know. It could be Rikishi. So
yeah, you did it for The Rock. I feel like we come down on AEW for not having like a lack of storytelling. And I feel like they had a cool opportunity to have a multi-week story with this by not revealing who the attackers were at the end of the show.
I agree.
They could have had this continue, next week this week it's Nick Jackson, the next week it's Matt Jackson, the next week it's Adam Page, and the next week it's Kenny Omega. Who's doing all this? Why is it happening? And then, have the reveal finally be that it is the BCC or it's Bryan Danielson. That's my theory, is that Bryan Danielson's involved in this somehow, because he did say in his promo after Revolution that he was going to go home. And a lot of people thought, oh, he's going back to Washington, but maybe home for him is the Blackpool Combat Club, where he really belongs. And he kind of went away from them for a little bit to go after the title, and now he wants to reunite with his family. I don't know. I could see that, but you have an opportunity to make this a multi-week story, and I wish that they wouldn't have had any sort of reveal at the end. I think they could have dragged this out a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. All right, what's your last thing, brother, on this Dynamite?
Oh man, there's a lot to take away, but I want to talk about the tag team match. So we opened up with a 6-man tag. Now we're going to talk about the tag match of the Guns against Top Flight. So first of all, it's about damn time Top Flight got a title shot against the Guns.
Yeah.
But second, I think the thing I want to talk about is the end. The Guns got the win. The fans hate the Guns. They get some pretty bad heel heat as well.
Yeah, they actually got booed. Yeah, I'm so okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
And then the FTR came out, and FTR, who's back in AEW, they come out and they cut a promo saying that they want a shot at the tag titles, and the Guns laugh it off and say, ha ha ha, you can't have a tag title, man. We're not giving you this. And then they're trying to do everything they can to get a tag title rematch, and it finally ends up with the FTR saying, if we lose, you give us a rematch, give us a shot at those titles, and if we lose, we will leave AEW. And so that led to the Guns caucusing amongst themselves, and then they decided, you know what? Okay, we'll take you up on that deal. If we beat you, when we beat you, you guys will leave AEW forever. And looks like we're getting a potential loser leaves AEW, or not. I guess it would be FTR leaves AEW match if they lose the match against the Guns. So, if FTR came back at Revolution, do you think that was just for them to ride out the rest of their contract, or do you think they sign new deals, or do you think that they're going to leave AEW after this match?
There's so much to dissect in here because I'm still thinking about the Acclaimed, right? And so the Guns beat the Acclaimed, and it was disgusting on Dynamite.
Yes.
And I was outraged, and people told me to chillax and that it was all a plan and that the Guns needed to win and this and that because they were ready. They're not ready. Then that leads to a rematch against the. Oh wait, no, it doesn't. It led to a 4-way match with the Acclaimed and some random tag teams, which is now leading to the Guns versus FTR. I think it has to end with the Guns winning. Or what was the point of it? There has to be a point that the Acclaimed lost the belts. There has to be. There has to be more than just the Acclaimed are over, so it doesn't matter. You can have over people be your champions. That's okay. I don't see the reason. So the only way I can see it happening is by the Guns winning, because now they can say, we beat FTR, we beat the Acclaimed, now we retired FTR. So at least now you can try to build this young core, and do something. And then maybe they'll beat the Acclaimed again. Maybe they'll start beating others. You know what I mean? You have to do something, but because if not, and you just wanted FTR to have the titles, then why wouldn't you have kept it on the Acclaimed? Because if you're going to tell me right now that the Acclaimed versus FTR for the titles at All Out, the Double or Nothing or whatever's next, wouldn't have had that would have headlined. That could have been the main damn event over the title match. Like, that's how big those two groups are. The Acclaim versus FTR is what everybody wanted. And even if the Acclaim lost, that would at least made sense. FTR comes back, they beat the Acclaim. That would have been money printed, which TK maybe doesn't love because he has too much of it. I don't know. But that would have been money. So I feel like it has to be that FTR, just because they came back, I mean, their contracts could be up. They could have signed just, hey, come back for us, do us a solid. We helped you guys out, got you a bigger name. When you go back to WWE, you're bigger because of us. So why don't you come, give us one more thing, push the Guns? I can see that happening, but dude, the Guns, I know you said they were booed and stuff, but their promo, for one, the skinny one didn't talk at all. The short one did. And then the short one didn't. Sorry, I don't give two rats about their names. The short one, he just screamed. Austin is Colby, right? He just yelled the entire time. He literally yelled. It's like promo 101. Don't you yell when it's necessary, when you need to prove a point, and you don't even over yell. That's like wrestling promo. He was yelling like everything was, you think about, and it was so stupid too, because they were like, yo, we'll split up. Heck no, I'm not going to do a split up. A split up is stupid. Why would we do? Okay, we'll just quit. Oh, okay, then that's fine. What's the freaking difference? Them splitting up, they're quit anyway. You don't want to wrestle them in singles matches one day? It was stupid. It wasn't like they were building it and then got to somewhere where it was like, oh, he literally offered that already. And they were like, nah, and then they took it. So I don't know. And the spit at the end was disgusting. I'm sorry to break it to y'all. No one's spitting on me for kayfabe or not. And Homeboy spit all over Dax. Dax had loogie spit all over him. I wanted to throw up. I don't know what, but I don't know. It is what it is. But if the Guns don't win, I'm really lost with this whole tag team title thing. Lost. I have no idea what the hell's happening.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm the same way. I'll be lost too. And the tag division there is such a hot mess. And there was no Acclaim this week either. That was another thing. There's no Acclaimed anywhere in sight, and no music video, no nothing. There was one of the most over acts, and they're not even on TV.
They're the AER now. Acclaimed every Rampage. Or AEF, acclaimed every Friday, because they ain't acclaimed every Wednesday.
No, not anymore.
No, they're on Rampage again this week. Yeah.
Yeah, which is on Saturday this week, not Friday.
Yeah, it is on Saturday. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't get the whole. Yeah, I mean, the Guns have to win. As much as I don't want to see FTR leave, I feel like there's no point. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing the FTR win the tag titles, but but they could have just been the ones to beat the Acclaimed. I don't think anybody would have raised any eyebrows about that. So the fact that they use the Acclaimed as sacrificial lambs to put the belts on the Guns just to put them back on FTR, AEW 101. That's that's
Mhm.
AEW booking with the hot potato of the TNT Championship or the hot potato of the International Championship or whatever title it is. They like to play hot potato with it. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good match. And when is it? Is it next Wednesday? Is that
They
or
didn't
is it?
say. I don't
Yeah,
remember them saying it. I don't know if it's Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing's the next pay-per-view, right? That's what he was looking
yeah.
at.
That's the next.
Double or
That's the next.
Nothing's so I don't know if that's what it is or if either way, if you were gonna have FTR win the titles, it should have been the Acclaim versus FTR. Like I said, that match
Agreed.
would have been bigger
Yeah,
than any singles title match. FTR and the Acclaim, they were the two most over acts in AEW. That's how there it is. See, my boy Zach knows. That
yeah.
is
He
what it
knows.
is. The Acclaim versus FTR, like the end. And now we'll probably never get it. Maybe give the tag titles,
Yeah.
tag belts to Samoa Joe. I mean, he's still calling himself the
King
television
of
champ, the
television.
king of
He's not even on.
television. No,
Should be the king of streaming because he's on Ring of
yeah, he's
Honor
not even
Club.
on television. And he's like the headline, like he's like the main guy of ROH. He's like the main. Did you see the BCC? They were rocking their ROH belts. Are they on ROH? I haven't been watching it. I don't know, but they were rocking
Yeah.
those belts hard on AEW, proud and loud. But yeah, man. But that was AEW in the weekend review. I mean, once again, it was good. I know we ended it on a kind of a low note and confusion, but they had great matches, good stuff. AEW did all right this week, especially before we get into Mania season. So, with that said, our segment today is a special segment, a special episode segment,
Brand new, hot off the presses.
brand
Yes, sir.
new, brand new, dedicated to a certain individual. And maybe we're going to have to keep doing this because this individual does like to say a lot of wild and crazy things. So, our segment today is What Did CM Punk Say Today? Dun, 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 dun.
Look in my eyes.
What can you see? What did I say on Instagram? So, my man today, CM Punk yesterday, made the news. And I didn't catch it because I do not go on wrestling gossip sites, but my main man, the honorary dude, does. And he shot it over to me and said, we should talk about this today. And I think we should, because I think we could always have a segment like this because CM Punk's a wild dude. And before we read, and I'm going to read over what's going to happen, and then we'll get Shooting Star's opinion and go from there. And this is AEW because he's still technically signed to AEW, is he not? I mean, he's still an AEW talent.
Yeah, he's still AEW contract. Yeah.
Yeah. So, CM Punk, we were talking off the record that when celebrities post stupid things, right, on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, I don't know, Indeed, whatever they're going to write their dumb things on, isn't that a job site? They usually are under the influence, right? Maybe they go pop a couple of Molly's, or Molly's still a thing, I don't know. Or maybe they, go to the bar and have too many shots on a Saturday night, and then they read somebody wrote something. Hangman said, "What about me?" But CM Punk is straight edge. And what straight edge means is that CM Punk doesn't do drugs or alcohol. He doesn't do anything that will influence his mind, right? Make him be different than who he is, which is more power to him. I enjoy drinking, but I'm pretty sure if I didn't, I'd be a lot skinnier and probably a little bit less, grumpy or happy. I'm usually way more happier when I'm drunk, but either way, I would be a different human, right? I'd probably be a little bit cleaner lifestyle, probably live a little bit long. CM Punk might live to be 100. I'll probably live to be like 83. So there's levels to this game. So more power to him. But he went on Instagram today responding to a Dave Meltzer post yesterday. So I'm going to read the Dave Meltzer post, and then I'll read everything that CM Punk said afterward, and then we'll dissect it, okay? So this isn't gossip because this is all from CM Punk. This is real life. So Dave Meltzer posted, "Do you know why they didn't advertise Punk versus Moxley longer and why it had a short build? Because Punk agreed to it. Then AEW got a legal letter saying he wasn't down with it and wasn't doing it, and they didn't know if he'd come out until Tony put his foot down." It's like what I do with my wife.
That's right.
There are a lot of nice things I can say about him, and you can absolutely argue his position on Moxley was correct, but you can't argue he willingly did what he was asked in that scenario. So then CM Punk wrote in a now deleted Instagram story, sigh, all capitals too, sigh. "I wasn't cleared to wrestle yet. Then the plan was to wrestle at the PPV. I sat and listened to Moxley's Rocky 3 idea." Rocky 3 is the one where Rocky he loses his match to Clover Lane, which is Mr. T. I pity the fool. Then he goes back in training and then beats Mr. T later on in the future. And yeah, before he goes into the best Rocky 4. I didn't even have to look that up. I love the Rocky movies. I'd explained how I'd never seen a Rocky movie.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Stop. He's straight edge. He's not like no TV. And I thought the idea sucked. But if the boss, Tony Khan, wanted to do it, whatever. He said he wouldn't lose to me, meaning Moxley. So then he comes out and says a few more. I'd never experienced someone refusing to lose to me. I just laughed. I asked Tony if this was what he wanted, and Tony said yes. He's the boss, so I said okay, but I need to be cleared first. They kept saying it could just be a squash, so I didn't need to be cleared. I scoffed at that. My health is more important. Here he goes. Dave Meltzer is a liar. Jericho is a liar and a stooge. There were plans, but plans always change. But I'll never put a company above my health ever again. Now, what he's meaning at is that he left WWE because of health reasons. They were trying to force him to wrestle matches. He wasn't cleared. He was going to hurt himself. That's why he left. So I seriously have never seen a Rocky movie either. No Cap Wrestling guy. Get the hell off our feed.
We're gonna have to do a watch along.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a Rocky watch along. We're gonna do all 7 of them with the Creeds. The Creed movies are bomb. They're actually sometimes better than the Rocky ones. But so basically in a nutshell, I mean, where we're getting at, and we can, I'm gonna have you go first, but he's basically saying he was hurt, didn't want to do it, didn't like the idea. I'm assuming because he did get squashed. So is that what he was? That was the Rocky, right? He got squashed, then he won back. He didn't want to do that. Moxley, I guess, he's claiming he refused to job to him. So he was like Shawn Michaels, where I lays down for absolutely nobody.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
But he did lie down for him. That's what
he did. And Moxley lies down for him. And then he lied down for MJF like a week later. So weird. And then I'm assuming he's calling Jericho a liar and a stooge. So I'm assuming, because people talk about that Jericho is the person who gives Dave Meltzer all his information, which was how they found out about all the backstage stuff that happened, correct? Isn't that where I'm right? Correct? Like Jericho is Dave Meltzer's boy, so he tells him all the information. I'm assuming that's why he's dogging on Chris Jericho randomly. The health again, we talked about. So there it is. So let's dissect this. What say you, man? What are you thinking about all this stuff? Just before we even get into everything else, if we think, work shoot or what do you think? Like, what are you dissecting all this? Does it make sense? Does it go together? Does it, like, the timeline? Like, what are you?
It makes, some of it makes sense. Some of it doesn't. We've talked in the past before about people coming, like, we didn't think Saraya was cleared for her return to the ring when she was, because she looked stiff out there. She looked like she had never wrestled before. And that she had some time off, but we were questioning whether she was legitimately ready to come back and whether she was legitimately cleared. So can I see AEW putting him out there when he's not medically cleared? Yes, I can. Do I believe some of the stuff that he said about Moxley refusing to job for him? No, because he did job for him. And he then, like you said, he jobbed at MJF a couple months later after at Full Gear. And I think he's jobbed at Adam Page a number of times too. All the people that have had some sort of history with CM Punk, Moxley has jobbed to recently. So I don't know if I believe that. This came out of the blue for me. It really did, because I was thinking that we were getting close to a CM Punk return in AEW. I had read some reports before that said that that Punk wants to come back to AEW. He's been kind of throwing some subtle nuances out there on the interwebs, on his Instagram story. He's put something out there just a couple days ago about 2 wrestlers who got into a fight in the locker room, and Jerry Lawler is the one that pulled him into the boss's office, and they talked it out and they squashed their beef. And so a lot of people took that to mean, like, all Tony Khan has to do is bring me and the Elite into an office together and we'll hash it out. We'll discuss everything. And, and then Dave Meltzer had some reports saying that he wants to get back into AEW. He wants to come back to wrestling. FTR has a podcast, and they've been talking about how Punk has been training, and Punk he misses wrestling, and he everybody hates what happened, and but FTR also painted Punk to be a nice guy. They said that
Mhm.
he got gift cards for all the women in the backstage when he first joined, and he would take younger wrestlers out to dinner and those kinds of things. And so I don't know. Now after seeing this, I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. And I was kind of hoping that he was the one that was attacking Nick and Matt Jackson.
Mhm.
That's what we were gonna lead to. Um, and maybe it is a work. I don't know, but it's just I don't know. It's disappointing because I was really hoping that I do think CM Punk, if he were able to do business with the Elite and come back to AEW, and I think it would give AEW a much needed shot in the arm. It would make them compelling TV again, because I guarantee you that would probably be one of their highest rated moments, seeing the Kenny
Mhm.
Omega, CM Punk, and the Young Bucks all in the ring together at the same time, especially with Adam Page kind of playing that role too. He can get involved there too. So I've been kind of hoping that we would get to that, but after seeing this, I don't know. I think I'm just ready for him to go away. And I love CM Punk. I'm a huge CM Punk fan. I have been since 07, 08, maybe a long time. And yeah, I think now AEW's fine without him. They've proven that they can exist and they can be fine without him. They don't need him. And I don't see him going back to WWE either. It just seems like drama
Mhm.
follows this guy everywhere he goes.
Yeah, for sure. And I was disappointed in it too, but the legitimacy to it. So it, him being injured matches up because he had that match, that squash match, and then the next match was what, 2 weeks later, a week later,
Yeah, it was that
wasn't
all
it?
out. Yeah, that
Yeah, it
was
was like a week
the
later or 2 weeks later. It happened instantly. I remember that. It was like really
yeah, it
quick.
happened like the next. So it was the Dynamite. It was they had an episode of Dynamite where they had the squash match. It was
Hmm.
Moxley and Punk, and then the next episode of Dynamite is when Punk cut the promo saying like, "I've been, I came out of the womb with the cord around my neck.
Oh,
They've been
that's
trying to
right.
kill me since day one." That's when Ace Steel brought the contract out and Punk
Yes.
signed it, and then that Saturday was All Out,
All out. Yeah, that's
or
right.
that Sunday. It was the day after Clash at the Castle.
Yeah. So instantly, Ace Steel, man, dude got fired for all this. But
Yeah,
so that makes sense, right? But here's my thing. For him being not appreciative of it, if he was truly injured and wasn't ready to come back, why would they put the strap on him? Like that doesn't see that's where it doesn't add up for me because to me it seems like maybe he wasn't fully ready. Okay. And then they made him come back and then he got re-injured. Okay, I see that. But wasn't it a different injury as well? It wasn't the same injury. So I'm
yeah,
very like so I go back and forth with the story of what Punk is saying and what's not saying. And I'm not against him not wanting to wrestle injured because I do. I mean, we're not all Cody Rhodes, right? We're not all people who are gonna give it our all when we think it can jeopardize us for the future. Although I think we're in a time where science and being a doc, you can heal anything. You can get any injury now and basically be fully recovered and heal and probably continue on in whatever athletic career you're doing. I mean, we're there with science. I truly feel. I mean, people tear their ACLs all the time and come back and have good careers. I mean, people are. I mean, it's magic nowadays. So I don't think he would have had anything that serious that he thought like I can never wrestle again or anything. But to each its own. If he didn't want to wrestle, that's his choice, his body of if he wants to continue. But why would they have put the belt on him then if he feels that blah 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 and this and that? I don't know. I think there's more to it because he wouldn't have blown up and been that pissed off at the backstage segment unless something different would have happened. So that's what is making me think this is a work, that this is all a nice little scheme to get back in it. And maybe he did beat up the Young Bucks. Maybe he did. Maybe he's going to side with BCC. Maybe he's the cult of personality. Maybe he's the leader. Maybe he's going to come out and be the William Regal guy who they need and side with Moxley now and this and that to turn on these guys. Maybe that's why the BCC is feuding with them. I mean, who knows? I just think it's really weird timing. And I don't want to go into Dave Meltzer because he's the biggest piece of trash in the wrestling news business. And just because he's saying something, it usually means it's wrong. Although I do have to agree, we were talking before that Dave Meltzer was like praising CM Punk, and CM Punk still took a shot at him. He's like,
he
no, CM Punk's dope. Yeah, like good for you for standing up for yourself. And he's like, you can suck it.
He did what was asked of him. Kudos. And then,
fuck you, yeah, basically. Yeah, eat it. But so I don't know. So I'm going to lean. I know you're leaning toward never coming back. I'm going to lean the opposite. I'm going to say this will work and that he's going to come back. This is just a nice little way to build this angle, kind of like what they did with MJF when he, was in a money dispute and left the company that people still pretend like was real. Oh no, he really was in a dispute, and that's why he left. Oh, stop. Like I think TK loves the Attitude Era. If you don't believe me, go back to Hangman Page driving an ambulance into the arena. This is like what he is all about. That was like that era, the realism, the bringing it in. What's kayfabe? I mean, that's where we're at right now. And so I'm thinking it is. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I don't care either way. So, I mean, I'm a big Punk fan, not as big as you, but I have always loved CM Punk. So I don't know.
Yeah, I would love for it to be a work. I really do. I want to see him back in wrestling. I do think AEW is his place. I don't think his attitude and his demeanor and his all just the drama that comes with him. I don't think that would go well in the WWE locker room. And I think he would rub people the wrong way there, and he would want to be the one to dethrone Roman and all that. And so I think AEW is the place for him. And I think it's the perfect spot for him. But so I do hope that this is a work, but I don't understand the shots at Jericho. I don't understand the shots at Moxley in this. Tony Khan, okay, sure. But if it's not a work, I mean, you just went after Jericho, Moxley, and Khan in that statement. And those are the three most powerful people in that company. Probably more powerful than the EVPs, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. And, you went after the top dog in Moxley. You went after the mainstay in Jericho, and then the head honcho of the whole place, Tony Khan. So I don't know. I hope it is a work, because he did delete it pretty quickly. He did delete it really quickly. It was probably, I think it was up for like 15, 20 minutes or so, and then he deleted it. And then it was some sleuthing fans that found it and posted it everywhere. And so
it was up just long enough. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Could I see it being a work? Yes. Do I hope it's a work? Yes. Do I think it's a work? No, I don't. And I also think CM Punk he's a petty individual. And Wrestling Guy brought this up earlier in the comments, but during that attack on Nick Jackson backstage they had tables covering up CM Punk's face on the trucks. So you can see like they have the trucks. I think Jericho's on it, Darby Allin's on it, MJF's on it, Moxley's on it, and it's CM Punk doing his straight edge thing. And they covered up his face with like plastic tables and chairs and pieces of. So I don't know if him releasing this statement was because he's petty and they did that to him, so I'm going to do this to me, or they did that to me, so I'm going to do that to them, or what? Or was it all connected? Did he cover up his own face to rule himself out as a suspect? I don't know. If I cover myself up, they'll never know it was me.
Or maybe they covered that up to make you think of CM Punk. So
yeah,
who knows? But all right,
it was an interesting time. But yeah, I think we should definitely do CM Punk says this, or what did CM Punk say today every week? We should just bring it up
every week.
Yeah.
I mean, he does almost say something every week, so we could definitely run with it here and there. That is funny. All right, y'all. Well, that was AEW Friday for Two Dudes with Attitude. So, in 1 week from today, me and Shooting Star Press are finally going to meet. Believe it or not, we don't know each other at all, technically in person. We are going to meet each other. I'm putting it out there so he doesn't have to worry about me murdering him when he comes to my house. He can feel safe and comfortable that I'm letting the internet know that he is staying with me, so he has to get home safe. We're going to hang out Friday to Tuesday. That's a long, long time, man.
It's a lot of wrestling in that time.
That's a lot of wrestling, too. A lot of wrestling, a lot of hanging out. Man, you're flying in on my daughter's birthday. You get to see my cat and my son, my wife, and we're going to go out to LA. I'm going to take you out. We're going to have some fun. film the whole thing, huh? Should we do like a documentary? Two
We
dudes
should.
with attitudes,
Yeah,
all
a
access.
vlog. Yeah.
Fake drama and stuff. But yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome. So with that said, like I said, we're gonna try to do an episode Monday or Tuesday whenever we can squeeze it in to try to get one last episode in to hype up Mania, give predictions for Stand and Deliver for Mania. Thank you so much again for 110 followers plus on YouTube. We got 27 on Twitch. Keep us going on that. If you follow us on YouTube and you're listening, follow us over there. Keep viewing these vids too, man. Keep viewing them, view them, watch our podcast. We got this brand new, beautiful setting on here that
Yes,
Shooting
sir.
Star Press put together. And yeah, man. So we'll see you guys next week. We're excited. As always, I'm the dude of Wrestle Talk, Mr. MWO. And with me, as always, is
Mr. Shooting Star Press. Like he said, go follow us, go subscribe here on the YouTube, go rate us and review us on Apple and Spotify. We're out there as well. Anywhere you get your podcast from, we're there. Yeah, and next week's going to be a fun week. It's going to be a crazy week, and I can't wait for it. And also, this is episode 30, by the way. So we've hit the dirty 30. So this is
I forgot.
A monumental episode. I forgot too until just now. But yeah, monumental. We hit the dirty 30, and yeah, I think we're only getting better and better every week that we do this. So at least we think so.
I agree.
We need feedback from the two dudes Wolfpack out there.
Let's go. Let us know. All right, man. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week. WrestleMania.